What's happening, guys? So we are back here again. A match preview for the Champions League fixture we have at home to Bayern Munich. Now, I've made a video previously and I stated that if us winning this game tomorrow night could be or will be possibly the worst thing we do this season. And you know, some of you might be thinking,
you ain't going too goddamn far now.
Which I understand. You know what I mean? Some people may have come across this video for the first time and they might have in their head,
who the fuck is this asshole?
But those of you who watch me regularly, you'll still be like, but let me explain. I explained it in the video, but just to cut it short. Basically, the reason why I made that video stating that if we beat Bayern Munich tomorrow night, that it'll probably be the worst thing that we do this season is literally because of the fans. This fan base is from. Let me just start again because I'm mumbling my words now. Let's start again. Simply because of this fan base's mentality, along with the club's mentality. That's why I made that video stating that if we beat Bayern Munich, then it could be the worst thing we do this season. Because, you know, like when we beat City 5-1 back in February, I said that would be the worst thing that we've done this season because look how we acted after it. You know what I mean? When we beat PSG early in the group stage, in the league phase of the Champions League last season, you know, we were all confident. We were all like, bring them on. You know what I mean? Especially what we did to Real Madrid, dispatch Real Madrid like that. You know what I mean? And then look what happened. We didn't learn from anything, you know, and it's just the mentality of this club and the fans. Whereas if we were to fail to win, a lose or a draw, obviously I don't want to lose, but, you know, let's just say we didn't win the game. At least we have something to work up to. You know what I mean? If we beat Bayern Munich tomorrow, as much as I want that to happen, it's the mentality that I'm not looking forward to. That if we were to get these guys again, will we repeat that? You know what I mean? I'd say if we don't beat them tomorrow, I personally think we would have a better chance in beating them in the knockouts, especially this Arsenal, with the way we're going on right now. I just don't want complacency, and I don't want that mindset that this fan base tends to, you know, colonize the whole club with. You know what I mean? I just don't want that. But, you know, overall, I still hope we beat them. But yeah, Champions League, we're top of the Champions League table as it stands. I mean, let me just have a quick look on Flash Score actually, because we might be. Well, no, to be honest, the Champions League games haven't started yet. I mean, I think there's some early fixtures that's been in. Let me just get into this. But not that being top of the Champions League table really matters, because, you know, that doesn't mean you're going to win it. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to win the Champions League like that. You know what I mean? Just staying top of the table. No, we need to. We as long as we get into that into the top 8, as long as we get straight into the quarterfinals or whatever it is in last 16. Oh yeah, last 16, because there's the ones that finished 9th and below. I think they get last 32 or something like that. Whatever it is, they have to play an extra game. So as long as we're not in that realm, it's all good. You know what I mean? Whether we're top of the Champions League table or we're 5th or something. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's not going to be an easy game against Bayern Munich. I mean, Elise got a hat-trick also this weekend. You got a hat-trick and a brace of assists or something like that. And you got Eze getting a hat-trick in a North London derby. I mean, yeah, I mean, also we cooked this weekend. You know what I mean? We cooked. We absolutely cooked, yeah. And I want to see more of that. You know what I mean? That kind of cooking. That's what I want to see. You know what I mean? I want to see that too. It's obviously it's a pity that we conceded that stupid goal, thanks to Zubimendi holding on to the ball for too long. But, you know, things do happen. Obviously, Raya's constantly off his line.
You don't find that suspicious?
You know what I mean? It's a bit like, fam, I don't want to be seen as conceding stupid goals because you're not on your line. You know what I mean? But I don't know what's going on with that. It's failing to load it. Let me just try again. Thank you, fool. Anyways, so oh no, Bayern are top of the table. We're just joint top. No, Bayern are top of the table. We're just joint top with them and Inter Milan. That's all. Obviously, Man City are about to play soon. They're only 2 points behind us, but I don't give a shit about being top of the Champions League table. As I said, I mean, I don't care about that. I mean, I care about, if we're in that top 8, we don't get to play those extra dead ass games. You know what I mean? We don't want that. But anyways, let's get into the match preview of Arsenal versus Bayern Munich at home at the Emirates Stadium, at the mighty Emirates Stadium. Arsenal's incredible unbeaten run stretched to 15 matches across all competitions, winning 13, drawing 2, with a dominant 4-1 win in a North London derby over Tottenham on Sunday, fam. That's right. That's right. The Gunners are one of just 3 sides to win their opening 4 games in the Champions League this season, and the only one to do so without conceding a single goal. Mikel Arteta has overseen a club record 8-match winning streak in the group stage / league phase of this competition, and with his team unbeaten at the Emirates Stadium since May, winning 9, drawing 1, it would be brave to bet against them winning here. Bayern Munich are perhaps the only side in Europe who can claim to have started the season better than their hosts here. They've won 17 of the last 18 competitive games this term, drawing 1. Vincent Kompany's men recovered from a 2-goal deficit to thrash Freiburg 6-2 on Saturday to cement their lead in the Bundesliga summit. But conceding twice in each of their last 2 games suggests they are increasingly vulnerable at the back. Now we need to exploit that. Hitting the road may stir their rearguard into action as Bayern are unbeaten in away games since a January loss in the Champions League to Feyenoord, winning 16, drawing 5. Yet their only 3 defeats across their last 52 games in the group stage / league phase of this competition came on their travels. So Arsenal faced Bayern Munich more than any other side in the Champions League 14 times, but have failed to win any of the last 5 head-to-heads, drawing 1, losing 4. And let's not forget, these man knocked us out of the Champions League in 2024. Yeah. We thought maybe, could this be, if it's not going to be the league, could it be the Champions League? And yeah, Bayern, they came to the Emirates without their fans, and got a 2-2 draw. That's when I knew. And then they beat us 1-0 at their place. And I lost all faith in us from that, because if Bayern can come here without fans and get a result, you know what I mean. Bayern ran out 3-2 winners on aggregate in the quarterfinals of the 2023-24 edition. So our win probability is 44% to Bayern's 29%. Arsenal faced fewer shots on target, 7, than any other side in this season's Champions League after 4 rounds. 9 of Arsenal's 11 Champions League goals this term arrived after half-time. Bayern have scored 2+ goals in their last 13 competitive away games. Bayern have scored a pre-round competition high 11 first-half goals this season. Jesus. So obviously with key players to watch and all that, the Harry Kane for them, Eze for us. Obviously Gabriel's missing, Bayern is not going to have former gunner Serge Gnabry. I don't know why. I think injury. And teenage starlet Lennart Karl came off injured at the weekend. Obviously, they'll be missing Luis Diaz because of the red card he got in the previous game. So, questionable players for us is Gyökeres and Odegaard. I think Odegaard might be fit now. And they've got 2 injuries, well, 3 injuries. Questionable is Gnabry, so Gnabry could still play, actually. So Arsenal and Bayern have won 4 of the last 5, drawing 1. So the last 5 matches against Bayern Munich. Let's go with competitive because these are just friendlies. There's 2 friendlies there that Arsenal won both of them of. So we'll go on the last 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, right. So the last time we played Bayern was at the Allianz Arena. We lost 1-0. Before that, the last time we played them here, we drew 2-2. Before that, Bayern smoked us 5-1 at the Emirates in 2017. And before that, in 2017, at Bayern, we got smoked 5-1. Yeah. And then before that, we lost 5-1 at Bayern Munich. Yeah. So, yeah. Having to read that and see that on this list here, that's why every time I speak of Arsene Wenger, my stress levels go up. I don't hate him or anything like that. I'm thankful for what he's done for the club and everything like that. It's just the way it ended up going. That wasn't the one. You know what I mean? And people said he should have walked sooner and let somebody else come in so that they can do whatever. But no, he stayed long enough to be the villain. Yeah. Us getting pammed in the Champions League like that. And fair enough. He won us FA Cups and stuff, but you were the manager that won us league titles last. You were the man. You know what I mean? It's not like we're getting pammed like this from a new manager, but then the new manager won us an FA Cup or something like that. You know what I mean? Like at the time, like you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't want to get into that anyway. But score prediction for this game, I'm going with a 2-2 draw. I think this game's going to show their quality in attack and how our defense will cope with it, and then also vice versa. Really, I mean that's why I'm putting a 2-2 draw. Their defense is a bit suspicious.
You don't find that suspicious?
You know what I mean? Ours isn't suspicious, but they've got a really good attack. The only thing suspicious about it is Raya wandering out of goal, being almost a midfield player.
You don't find that suspicious?
You know what I mean? But anyways, let's see the comments. Big up to Terry, Tibbs, guys. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name properly. Big up YG. I hope Rice and Saka get rested. We need them for Chelsea. We're comfortably going to finish top 4 in the Champions League. Premier League should be focused, and I'm going to get into that. Big up to Kurt. Kurt says 2-2. But big up to you. Harry Kane and Elise are a big problem for Arsenal. That's why I'm saying a 2-2 draw. I'm going with a 2-2 draw. Also, Noah's still better than Raya, and he's like 40. Raya's good. It's just that there's certain things that, because if Raya was a taller keeper, he'd have got his hand onto Richarlison's shot from halfway line. He'd have got onto that. You know what I mean? That reinforced how small Raya is. You know what I mean? And he's 6 foot, but that to me is too small for a goalkeeper. Dave Keating says a 0-0 draw. A 0-0 draw. Like I said, if we don't win this game, it's not the end of the world. For me, what the game that matters to me most is that Chelsea game. Yeah. So when it comes to the starting 11, for this game, yeah, I would go as far as playing Kepa. That's how far I'd go. Yeah. I would, if Arteta started Kepa in goal, I'm not complaining. You know what I mean? You will not see me out here, yeah, crying if he starts Kepa. I won't. I'd be like, fair enough. It's just that I know if we make hella changes, Bayern are going to see that as disrespect. You know what I mean? And that, and you know, it's going to feed all around and everything like that. But I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'd start Kepa. I'd start Kepa in goal. Yeah, I'd start Ben White at right back. I'd start Mosquera and Hincapié and Skelly. Then in the midfield, I'd start Norgard, Wanyere, and Eze. And then the front three, Madueke, Moreno, and Martinelli. That would be my team for this game. Personally. That would be my team for this game. Facts Donnarumma gets that because he's 6'5". Probably does. And what happened with your boys anyway this weekend? Avoid defeat and plan for Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a draw, okay. You know what I mean? Like a draw, not the end of the world. That Chelsea game matters more to me. You know what I mean? It's not like we're ninth in the Champions League table and struggling to get into the top 8. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to go all out for this game. And I don't want this manager to go all out for this game. I don't want him to feel oh, well, we haven't beaten Bayern Munich for a long time, so let me just prove. No, fam. We might get them later on. Yeah, we don't need to do all that. Yeah, don't need to do all that. In my opinion, this game to me, we should see a rotation, just like if it was a Carabao Cup game. The way that's the way I see it. This second team should be good enough anyway. Yeah, this second team should be good enough without sweat, fam. That we could just be like, yeah. I'm seeing my second team out. Yeah. Title race isn't over, even knowing I don't think City wins it. We'll have to. If we beat Chelsea and pull 9 clear of them, by the time January comes round, if the lead is extended, then it is possible that the season might go like last season, where it's won in April or some shit, and you know who's going to win it, kind of thing. Like for example, if we pull so far clear, it might be a case of we are going to win it, and it's not going to last day, none of that shit. But that's the way it's going to need to be for us. I can't have it going close. I don't care if it's boring for I don't care. You know what I mean? It's not boring to the ones who win it. Yeah. Big up to Warren. Big up. I'm calling for 1-1 or 2-2 draw. I want to see some rotation though. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I was literally just saying that earlier. Yeah. I'm saying a 2-2 draw, and my starting 11 is basically a Carabao Cup starting 11. That's my starting 11. Big up to Rod. But we need to be rotating this game. If City beats Leeds United and Chelsea somehow beats Arsenal, it's back to 4 points. I know that's how much it can change. I mean, you'll beat Leeds anyway, but the Chelsea game, like if Chelsea beat us, it's on. Like Chelsea are one to watch. Like it's fully on. If we beat them, we just have to make sure now that we take care of your Brentfords, your Villas, Evertons, and them, because those I'm more worried about those games. The Brentfords, the Bournemouths. I'm more worried about those games. Because look at Sunderland. You know what I mean? Look at the Sunderland game. I reckon there's going to be more of that. So I can't afford to get carried away with what we did this weekend. Arsenal fans shouldn't care what rivals say if you think we're going to win the league. Yeah, right. I mean, rivals can say what they want. All I care about is we need to win these games now. I don't see Chelsea getting 3 points of Arsenal. I think that ends in a draw. I really wouldn't put it past a draw, to be honest. I wouldn't put it past a draw. But that's not good enough for me. It's not good enough. I mean, it's not. It's just not. It's not good enough. A draw's not good enough for that game. You know what I mean? It's just not good enough. It has to. We have to beat them. Pull 9 clear, yeah, and then we need to take care of these smaller clubs as well when we play them. Because after Chelsea, I think that's when we play Brentford at home, and then Villa. We've got Villa twice in December, so they're going to be out of the way come New Year. But as for this game tomorrow night, I want to see Flash Score. Let me see what Flash Score has on their predicted lineups. Oh no, I can't see it. I don't think they do it for Champions League games actually. Yeah, they don't do it for Champions League games. But I want to see rotation. Liverpool not beating West Ham. Probably not these days. Okay, what rivals think. They'll think what they'll think anyway. Can't control that exactly. I mean, I don't care if we win the league. I don't care if it's boring. I don't care. You know what I mean? But like I said, we get our hands on that trophy. Yeah, we get our hands on it. Everyone's getting it. Telling you. I mean, y'all rival fans, y'all better fucking. I mean, y'all gonna be smashing glasses in your household like my again. You know what I mean? City will win. Chelsea game is a 6-pointer. A draw away from home will do. We can't afford to draw. We can't afford to draw a game, in my opinion, in the Premier League. You know what I mean? Like we literally need to be in a position where, for example, the Champions League table, it's not do or die at this moment in time. And our second team should be. I'd argue our second team should still be good enough to beat Bayern Munich, in my opinion. Maybe I'm overhyping us. I don't know. You know what I mean? Why not? We've seen worse. But if we can be in a position where points clear, when these cup games come round, fam, you can start, looking at them a little bit different. Like, fam, maybe we can, we can have, Liverpool got to the EFL Cup final last season. Yeah, the league was already taken care of. You know what I mean? It's just that obviously for them, Slot getting kicked out of the FA Cup and then losing that cup final to Newcastle, that disrupted them arguably going for at least a domestic treble. But, it's what it is, isn't it? Who's Eze? That bit him right in the ass, that. I already said this. If Eze and Gyökeres only score 5 to 10 league goals and wins the league, who cares what rival fans say about them, yeah? If I get to come on streams, if we win the league, I'm whipping out the shades to cook everyone and talk shit. Let's put it this way. We win the league. We win a trophy. First of all, I'm going live and the link's going in the chat. But if it's the league, fam, yeah, I'm gonna be. The link's gonna be in the chat, and I'm gonna be going around YouTube. I'm gonna be sharing my screen. I'm gonna go around YouTube, going around these content creators and laughing at them. I mean, laughing at them whether they're live or not. I hear that, but still thinks that's a disrespect to Bayern. What, thinking that our second team can still beat him? No. So I mean, some of the team that's our second team. These men know what it takes to win big games and trophies as well. You know what I mean? A starting 11 of Kepa, Ben White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Skelly, Norgard, Wanyeri, Eze, front three of Madueke, Martinelli, and Moreno. That's good enough to beat Bayern Munich. That in my opinion is going to be Bayern Munich. Not smoke them or anything. Just that 11 can get a win against Bayern Munich, in my opinion. If we score an injury time from a corner and draw, you'll take it. For the Bayern game, yeah. For the Chelsea game, like a draw is half a loss. You know what I mean? Especially in today's title race. Chelsea 2, Barcelona 3, hopefully. Let Chelsea win that because they'll have confidence. If they lose that game, then they'll come up again. They'll put everything into us now. You know what I mean? So I don't rate Bayern Munich defense. Well, reading what I read earlier, it seemed like their defense was probably a bit suspicious.
You don't find that suspicious?
You know what I mean? Big up to Red Bull Vodka. I'll take a draw against Bayern. I want to beat Chelsea. Yeah, it's that Chelsea game. You know what I mean? And those fans need humbling as it is. You know what I mean? Because that fan base is starting to get on my nerves when I see some shit on X as well. Constantly comparing their players to ours, and you know, we're just on their mind so much. I mean, because what it is with them is they're petrified that Arsenal might do it, kind of thing. That's what they have in mind, Chelsea fans. They're petrified that Chelsea might do it, and Arsenal might do it. You know what I mean? And no matter what they win, you know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean? They're just prang. A draw isn't a bad result for Arsenal. Against Chelsea, it is against Chelsea, especially the fact that Arteta's unbeaten at Stamford Bridge. And we drew there last season. We can't be doing that again. We've got to beat Bayern. I need to see Matisse and Don humbled. Yeah, I mean, I want to beat Bayern. But if we beat Bayern, I just worry about our mentality going forward from that. But for me, somebody said you won't beat Bayern, but you're definitely beating Chelsea, and biting your hand off for that. Whereas if somebody said you'll definitely beat Bayern, but you might not beat Chelsea, I'm like, fam, I don't think I want to take that. You know what I mean? Some Chelsea fans do too much to do. Bayern Munich. Yeah, draw won't be bad. It won't be a bad result, especially at this stage. YG, big up to Peppermint Freedom. YG, what will it take to keep Teta next season? UCL Prem double. For me, if he wins the Prem and a UCL double, yeah, that's the minimum for me. You know what I mean? But in terms of this club, I won't even rule out these guys keeping him even if he wins nothing. But I think Berto might intervene and be like, fam, nah. And he'll look at the fact that, look, I gave him this money, yeah? Fam. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, if he wins a trophy, we know he's definitely staying. Like, if he just wins the EFL Cup, we know he's staying. I mean, we've got to beat Chelsea. Sorry, mistake. I agree, Bayern ain't too bothered about them, even though would still like to beat him, still like to win. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to see us beat Bayern Munich. Because I want to see us win every single game. You know what I mean? But if somebody's like, right, you have to choose, fam. That Chelsea game, fam. That Chelsea game, Berto must put his foot down if he goes trophyless. Yeah. Come on, I want all you rivals to lose. Oh, we've got a Man United fan in here. We've got a Man United fan in here, fam.
The fuck is this asshole?
Listen, if your team didn't win this weekend, I don't want to talk to you. Don't call my phone, blood. Don't call my phone, blood. Do you know what I mean? Because certain men don't know. Certain men do not know what it's like to win this weekend, bro.
If Arsenal wins the Champions League, what does that show about Arsene Wenger? To be fair, if Arteta wins the Champions League for Arsenal, yeah, that is literally gonna make Arsene Wenger. It's that alone it's almost like it would dwarf Wenger in the sense of, obviously for European success, and it will almost dwindle. It feels like it will almost dwindle Wenger simply because he had us in the Champions League so long, got us to one final, got us to two semis, and it was just getting pammed in his later stages of his career, managerial career at Arsenal. And then for Arteta to take 6 years to win it in his first 6 years, I mean, honestly, that ain't a good look for Wenger. If Arteta wins the Champions League, Bayern Munich will come prepared with a plan A and B. Underestimate them at your peril. Harry Kane was not there on Sunday, but he will be there on Wednesday night. Oh yeah, I mean, this ain't going to be a walk in the park or anything like that. But I still think if we put our second team out, I still think they could get a win against Bayern Munich. But I ain't gonna bet a clean sheet. You know what I mean? Not with Harry Kane there. You know what I mean? We're not with Harry Kane there. Imagine losing at home to Everton. Yeah, I know. Losing at home to Everton, they were down. Everton down to 10 men as well.
I beg your pardon?
You know what I mean? Man United fans have no room to try and say anything.
Boy,
right
you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
You know what I mean? Question's gonna be asked if Arteta wins it when Wenger doesn't hurt his legacy, but still, I mean, yeah, that's that'll just look so fucking fucked up for Wenger. That 10 fucking Heisenberg, yeah, 10 fucking Heisenberg.
10 fucking Heisenberg, blood.
That's staying that. I do still think that 2006 final was, yeah, of course it was dodgy, man. You know what I mean? It was dodgy. Yeah, that's Barcelona's another club. If I see them get robbed, I just don't feel anything for them. I don't feel anything for them. Like that, they're just that kind of club. If Barcelona are down in the dumps and somebody, kicks them while they're down, I don't care. Wenger never spent £1 billion. Oh, yeah, he never did. But with what Wenger had, I mean, if you can go invincible in the Premier League, you can win a European trophy. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna try and hear anything else. If you can go 38 games in the Premier League without losing a match and winning the league from that, you know what I mean? 1-2 doubles. I'm sorry. How don't you have a Champions League to your name with all that time spent in the Champions League? Even though he didn't get £1 billion, I mean, he didn't need £1 billion to go invincible, and not even Pep can do that. You know what I mean? Anyone tries to go invincible, we all know how it ends up. You know what I mean? You people forgetting how much this Teta spent. Yeah, he spent a lot of money. Yeah, I know. He spent a shitload in today's football as well. That's how it is. But I've said before, because obviously Igal has said that he don't think Wenger would win the league with £1 billion spent, and I agreed with him because I saw who did out Wenger. I saw managers I never heard of, not never heard of, but I saw managers where it was like, fam, you know what I mean? I've seen this guy for a very long time. He's come back. He's come into the Premier League for the first time, won the league on your head top. You know what I mean? Leicester winning the league tells you everything. Leicester winning the league should tell you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? That outdid Arsene Wenger. We expect a league and a Champions League with that money and time spent. That's why I said if he wins the league and a Champions League double, I'll be Arteta. Asking who. That's all before VAR in it. VAR or no VAR, you know what I mean? You would have thought with what Wenger's done for this club, we'd have a Champions League by now. But I'm still grateful for what Wenger's done and everything like that. I don't want to take it away from him. But sometimes you just have to be You have to be cruel sometimes to be kind, in the sense of, telling the truth on how things are. How much money did Wenger spend to get 06 final and get robbed? But then after that rubbish, there wasn't another Champions League final again. Instead, we were getting pammed. Everyone was pamming us. Well, yeah, pretty much. And then when we got a break, because obviously it was either Bayern or Barca that were beating us. When we actually got a break, and it's like, oh, we got AC Milan. Oh, now we should get further in the Champions League, right? Nope. Same thing. Oh, we got Monaco. Now we should get further in the Champions League. We should definitely, now this season, we should go and try and push and try and win it. Nope. And look at the Chelsea team that won it in 2012. That wasn't all that. That Chelsea team was not all that. That Chelsea team of 2012 was not all that. That 2008 Chelsea team was better, and they didn't win it. But that 2012 Chelsea team won all that, and they won the FA Cup alongside it, while Arsene Wenger was still here. Barca spent more bribing UEFA. While all this is going on, Chelsea won the Champions League. Man United won the Champions League. We've seen all these teams win the Champions League. So despite robbage or anything like that, and Chelsea got robbed heavily in 2009 in the Champions League, still won it in 2012. I mean, some Arsenal fans will say Tete is better than Wenger if you win the Champions League. I won't go that far. I mean, I wouldn't say Arteta is better than Wenger if he wins the Champions League. I'll just say that Arteta was a better manager for us in Europe than any other manager in terms of the pedigree of the trophy won in Europe. You know what I mean? But our best manager in Europe was George Graham. You know what I mean? When it comes to Europe, because that Cup Winners' Cup is what the Europa League is now. That was the second tier European competition. So that's at that time that's the equivalent of winning Europa League today. You know what I mean? Doesn't Ibra or R9 have a Champions League? No, Ibra. Every time Ibrahimovic left the football club, they won the Champions League the season after. Then man calls himself the God. You know what I mean? Ibrahimovic calls himself the God. I feel sorry for Real Madrid when they get robbed because I know some of their Champions Leagues one is dodgy. Yeah. It's just hard for me to feel sorry for some clubs. Those guys were outspending Wenger still. I'm sorry for what Wenger's done for this club. I'm sorry. I'm not giving Wenger. Oh, we just needed to give you more money. I ain't giving him that. Of course, they were better. They had Daddy Roman. That Chelsea team still was not all that. They finished sixth in the league as well. Was it sixth or was it lower than that? You know what I mean? Don't blame Arsene Wenger. Blame it on better teams like Barca, Madrid, Bayern Munich, Milan's a better funded to boot. Well, see, this is and now can you see why my requirements for Arteta it has changed? Because he spent a load of money. I agree, he has. He spent a shitload, and we've gone through all this for 5-6 years, and we only have an FA Cup that he won in the beginning to show for it. When now all those clubs you just listed there, right? They all won doubles, trebles, or Champions League since we last won the league title. Yeah. Now I want that. Yeah. Arteta spent all this money, all this. We went through all that. Now I want that. Now I want what they got. I want that now. We've seen Barca win trebles and shit and 6 triples and whatever. I want that. We saw Real Madrid Champions League after Champions League titles and everything like that. I want that. Bayern Munich win treble and they've won the Champions League how many times since we last won the league? Bayern Munich won the Champions League 2013 and 2020. I want that now. AC Milan won the Champions League 2007. I want that. Inter Milan won a treble in 2010. I want that. See, all those things, I want those now. Because now we're spending money with these men. We're spending bare money now. Now I want what they've got. Give me that. That's why you can't just win one trophy and think I'm going to be in. Nope. You know what I mean? Don't forget United. You mentioned Leicester City. They actually outspent us before they won the league. The fact that they won the league, that's the thing. They won the league. They won it against Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger finished second to that. You know what I mean? Again, why didn't we get a Leicester season under Wenger? Or since he won us the league in 2004, why didn't we have a Leicester season where we at least just win it that one time? You know what I mean? We had Nazaré, Song, Arshavin, Adebayor, all them man. Yeah. Diaby. We had all them man. And he couldn't give us a Leicester season at least. We beat you a lot in the semi-final. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
Yes, man, I had excellent back then. Arteta, your problem. Yeah. I've been saying this. He wins it. Oh, fucks it over for you. Yeah, that's correct. Now we can expect a Champions League. Yeah. Now spent us that year. We bought Petr Cech and El Nene. Even with that, we had Arsene Wenger. And still, Leicester outdid us in the league. You know what I mean? Again, that told me anybody can just get that act together and win the league against us. Just like Slot winning it last season. You know what I mean? Because Slot winning it last season, that was the next Leicester moment. A manager just come out of nowhere and just wins Liverpool the league. Look how many years Liverpool have struggled to win the league. When they won it in 2020, they were flying away. That was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity kind of thing. They were flying away with it. Yeah? Never close. Then they went back to what we all knew. And then Slot just comes out of nowhere. And then just wins the league. That told me. That's why I say, if we got 9 clear of Chelsea, we need to take care of these small clubs now and make sure we're not dropping points in them. We need to be further away, because I'm telling you, if we're close with anybody, yeah, the likeliness is they're going to win it based on evidence. Yeah, y'all think I'm bullshitting when I say that? I ain't. Let's just say Sunderland kept winning, yeah, and they were second. Let's just say Sunderland were 4 points behind us right now, yeah. If Sunderland still remained 4 points behind us come April, I would tip them to win the league against us. That's how much I don't believe in this club if it's close. Because what I've seen is, well, Slot walked in and won Liverpool the league. And then I saw how we didn't win the league the previous 2 times before that. Yeah. Anybody's worry. Literally, it's like having a really attractive girlfriend, and you have to worry about basically any man that walks past her, because she might just go off with him or some shit like that, and it don't matter what he looks like. You don't have to be like, oh well, that guy there, he's a guy that women would go for, so I'd have to worry about, keeping my girl away from him. No, he could be Cyclops, and I'd have to worry about possibly getting off with him still. That's what it feels like with Arsenal for the league title, and I've got another club behind me close. The first real trophy is the hardest one. Well, what's a real trophy? Because, I mean, EFL Cup's a trophy, FA Cup's a trophy also. Obviously, I'm not saying that would make me Arteta in, but, Arteta showed that he didn't need time when he won that FA Cup with not his own squad. That all time shit went out the window with that. But he was given that when he was doing all this rebuild, and then he went 5 years and counting since then without a single trophy. If you're not counting the Shields. Premier League, yes, but you ain't winning the Champions League. No, you're hoping we don't win the Champions League because you know if you see Arsenal win the Champions League, you know it's gonna be, you know it's going off. That's what it is. 3 Prem, semi-FA Cups, be grateful. Look at what we're going through now. Yeah, I'm grateful for the 3 Prems and the 7 FA Cups Wenger won for us, but you know what the majority of his seasons were, especially those last, that period of going 9 years without a trophy, having to watch everybody around us win. You know what I mean? And then look who won the league on our head top, basically. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost it's pretty much unforgivable. That Leicester one for me, that shit's unforgivable. That's so fucked up. That one. You know what I mean? I still can't get over that. I honestly, I still can't get over that. You know what I mean? I still cannot get over the fact that Leicester won the league and we finished second behind that with Arsene Wenger. It's not like we got a new manager and then he finished second and then Leicester happened to win it. That's still bad in itself, but still. Arsene Wenger. 3 league titles, 7 FA Cups, Arsene Wenger. Well, it was 6 at the time, but yeah. Ranieri, who finished second behind Arsene Wenger when Arsene Wenger won the league in 2004. Ranieri gets sacked from Chelsea, does whatever abroad, comes back to England. Wenger still hasn't won the league title yet. Oh, I'll go win it. But imagine we win the treble, damn shirt sales will be through the roof. Like I said, rival fans will be on suicide watch if we get our hands on the league and or the Champions League in itself. And it was Wenger outs who participated. Arteta. You see, the thing is, a lot of the Wenger outs didn't want Arteta to begin with. We didn't want him. I've even got an old video before I changed my channel format and everything like that. I've still got it in my Google Photos, actually. I've got a video of when Arteta was about to come in and I said, I'm Arteta out. I don't want him. But then when he won that FA Cup, I was Arteta in from that. I was like, I'll give him a chance. You know what I mean? I'll give him a chance. And then it was when he didn't get top 4 and win anything in 2022, I thought, no, that's it now. I know what I'm dealing with now. The end of that 2022 season, that was when I was like firmly like 100% Arteta out, as I was before he came in. Champions League is done. 2 things: a good team and luck on your side. Oh yeah. You do need luck. You definitely do need luck. I mean, you do need that. Yeah, but we're more forgivable as Arteta spent mad dough. That's why I'm saying he has to. That's why I say the league and the Champions League double. You give me that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't just win one trophy and of any kind and think that we're going to be Arteta in. No, you can't do that, fam. You can't do that. You're gonna have to give me some more than that. You know what I mean? All this time, what I had to see. You know what I mean? I had to see all that because we weren't good enough to win any of what certain teams have won, or the manager at least didn't weren't good enough. At least you will compete for a few years with or without Teta. Unlike United or Chelsea, well, Chelsea have more chance of competing than Man United anyway. I mean, you man are down in the dumps. You know what I mean? You man are down in the dumps. We can only win it if we go 15 plus points ahead. Yeah. I don't trust us if it's close. I don't care who's second. Fucking Wolves could be second. I'd still pick them for the league than us, based on what I've seen. If we were doing, like, for example, I said this before, there's a reason why if you put anybody with us in the FA Cup final, I'm confident we'll win it. There's a reason why I think that. And there's also a reason why I think that if you put Crawley Town in an EFL Cup final with Arsenal, we won't win it. There's a reason why I think those two things. History. You know what I mean? For example, we faced Chelsea in FA Cup finals and beat them. We faced them in a Europa League final and an EFL Cup final, and we didn't win those. How is it that the only finals we can beat Chelsea in is the FA Cup, but put us in any other final with them, we can't beat them? You know what I mean? Talk of doubles and trebles is tempting the football gods. Remember, starts Ferguson's squeaky bum time is end of March onwards. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to upset the football gods because that's the only kind of god I believe in, because there's proof of something. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Thomas Frank saying, "Who's Eze?" And then he goes and scores a hat-trick, becomes the first Arsenal player since 1978 to score a hat-trick in a North London derby. You know what I mean? I can't not believe in the football gods at that point. You know what I mean? There's too much that we've seen where somebody says something or whatever, and then something happens corresponding to it. You know what I mean? Even in Everton. I'm happy with the league, to be honest. It'll be a firm foundation to motor onwards to the several titles. If we win the league this year and just that's it. Thank you, Arteta, for the memories. We will now hire an elite manager. Yeah, for me, he has to be something else with it. Because, like I said, if somebody said to you, you're gonna go 5-6 years without a trophy, but you're gonna watch all your rivals win trophies in the meantime, and then you're gonna be a laughing stock because you'll finish second in 3 of those seasons or some shit like that, and you'll put pressure on, but you're just not there. What in that 7th season you'll win a trophy. Number one, what trophy would you want it to be? And number two, what would it take for you to justify going through all that? For example, you know, would just winning one trophy be okay? Would winning a double of an EFL Cup and FA Cup be okay? Would winning a double of an EFL Cup and a Champions League be okay? Like, what would do it for you, kind of thing? What's the compensation? That's where I am. It was the end of Wenger tenure. Yes, but you apply zero context whatsoever. We barely funded the team and sold our best players every season. We had Arsene Wenger and we still had good players. I mean, why didn't we get a Leicester season? Why didn't we get a season where we just win the league? Why didn't we get that? That's the thing. I mean, a team with Giroud, Podolski, Sanchez, Cazorla, Ozil, and that couldn't win the league against Leicester with what Arsene Wenger's previously done for us. That he couldn't get us to win the league with that. That's why I don't. That alone is why I don't believe. Even if you give Wenger £1 billion to spend in today's football with these managers that are in this Premier League, I don't think that he wins it. No, because he had that, and he couldn't get past Leicester with that. All he could do was beat them twice in the season, but he couldn't pick Leicester to the league title with that. Yeah, Ozil, Cazorla, Podolski, Giroud, Sanchez, and that you can't win the league with that. But Leicester won the league with Vardy, Mahrez. I don't know. I don't really know the front line. They had Kante, Drinkwater, Morgan, Huth. Nah, man. And then look how they played the season after. Nah, man. Nah. We all know Arteta won't go anywhere if we win the trophy. Alan is that Rufus at Roman was at Chelsea. Sadly, I do think we need a new direction. They will be on suicide. I'm telling you right now. Trust me. They'll be thinking about it. I'm telling you. Arsenal get their hands on the Champions League, especially the league, and especially the Champions League. Fam. Yeah, I know some Wenger else want Wenger back rather than have Arteta. Yeah. Arsenal ain't sacking Mikel if he gets the league. No way. If he comes second again, I can't see Arsenal sacking him. Yeah, we've got FA Cup heritage. That's why you put us in the FA Cup final with anybody. I'm like, we're winning it. Because, you know what I mean? In my lifetime, we've only lost one FA Cup final in my lifetime. You know what I mean? But in my lifetime, we've lost more EFL Cup finals than we've won. We only won one EFL Cup in my lifetime, and we won 2 in our history. It's ridiculous. We are the Real Madrid of FA Cup. Yeah, I said that. I said that years ago. I said we are the Real Madrid of FA Cups. You put us in the final, higher chances are we're winning it. You know what I mean? Let's not forget that Chelsea team we beat when in 2020. We lost in Baku to them, man, in the Europa League. You know what I mean? Then we've got revenge afterwards, you know what I mean? I'm in the middle. I agree with the history arguments, but at the same time, I do see why some people, even rivals, feel like it's our year this time. Something different, but PTSD is strong based on history. Yeah, I mean, if I was a rival fan, like when I was watching Liverpool in the title race with Man City, and when they didn't win the league in 2019, but they won the Champions League, I was saying, oh, Liverpool win it. They'll win it this time. I was saying to Liverpool fans, you'll win it this season. You'll do it this time. And then they went and did it. You know what I mean? They went and did it without sweat. You know what I mean? Without sweat. You are right. Wenger didn't have big money. We sold all the best players. The FA Cup is also for Rans. That team in 2015-16 was dog shit. Nah. You're talking about that team that just retained, come off the back of retaining the FA Cup. I mean, that 2016 team was good enough to win the league. If Leicester won it, we're looking at Leicester winning the league. That 2016 team was good enough to win it. Aaron Ramsey, I forgot, he was another player I forgot to mention as well. You know what I mean? And then we couldn't follow it up with trying to win the league again because we weren't good enough to win the league again. Although we did win the FA Cup the season after, but you know, as I said before, when I was saying about how if you give Wenger the money that we've got today, he still won't win the league. One thing I would say that he would do, and I said this before, he'd three-peat the FA Cup. That I'd put money on him. You give Wenger £1 billion, he'd three-peat the FA Cup. He'd become the first manager in history to three-peat the FA Cup. I reckon he would. I reckon he'd at least get us to 4 finals and win 3 of them at least. Leicester were no mugs. But nobody expected Leicester to win that league, man. Nobody expected that. You know what I mean? They did. When you see like your Sunderlands and your Bournemouths and them chilling in the top 4 in the beginning part of the season, that's what Leicester were, but they kept it up. You know what I mean? That's what Leicester were, but they kept it up. They had some good individuals, but they were a team. The players should play in their suits for the FA Cup final. Imagine the players in suits. But anyways, I'm done for this match preview. I did over an hour. Bloody hell. I didn't realise I was on for over an hour. But anyways, I won't be doing a watch along. I'll be away tomorrow night. I'm down in Bristol / Swindon. Well, it'll be Bristol by the time I finished anyway. So yeah, I'll be back for the match reaction to where hopefully we've beaten Bayern Munich and lay down markdown. And I'm hoping that we do it with our second team, man. But I don't want to see our strongest 11 out tomorrow night because we need to be. I think some of these players need to be sitting out and getting prepared for Chelsea. You know what I mean? Big up to Rod with a super chat 199. Hold on. But yeah, I don't want to see the strongest 11 that we could put out. We don't need to see that. Like I said, I would be if Arteta put out this. If Arteta went with Kepa, White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Skelly, Norgard, Wanyere, Eze, Madueke, Moreno, and Martinelli. No complaints. I ain't complaining. You know what I mean? That's a Carabao Cup team, but I don't care. You know what I mean? I ain't complaining. The Chelsea game matters more than anything. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Like the stream, share the stream, comment, subscribe to the channel, follow all those socials. The link is in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
And if anyone wants to have a come at me,
meet me in the car park, bro. Meet me in the car park.
Because I'm a black belt in karate.
Stop the cap.
Come and have a pop.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.